we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight.
Hello my friends. So it's been a little bit dreary here on the mountain. I can't really show you a whole lot of things that we're doing outside just because the snow melts away and you're left with mud, and it's just not a pretty time of year to be filming, to be honest. So I just wanted to get a little bit into my background and why I decided to take this journey. It's getting really windy out here, so hopefully y'all can hear me. My external microphone is not charged, so this was a little impromptu. So I'm gonna go a little bit into a backstory here. I was in the military, I was military police, and I decided that police work really wasn't the ideal job for me. My disposition is more of a nurturing nature, and therefore I picked up working in the medical field. I worked probably around 25 years in the medical field by doing CNA work, taking care of people in nursing homes. And then I ended up working for a prominent medical group down in the city for 20 years after my time in the nursing homes. And the only reason I left that job of 20 years was because my daughter she had graduated from high school and she wanted to try to go to college, and she convinced me to move to Florida with her. And so we were in Florida when the pandemic hit. And I was always really happy in my job in the medical field. I loved my job, but the isolation after the pandemic and being away from friends, being away from family, I took a serious downward spiral, and I got really depressed, really dark. I had a lot of fear, I had a lot of anxiety. It was really a dark time for me. Luckily, I have my sister Heather. She and I had been friends since our military days. And Heather and I had talked for a really long time about me coming to maybe do this journey with her. And I didn't see it in my future. You know, I didn't see myself doing the farming life. She had been talking to me and she knew what I was going through. My anxiety was really high about everything. I would get so anxious and worried and stressed out about it. We decided it was time. And I say we collectively because, sorry, again, the wind. I say we because collectively we decided my daughter wanted to move back home to Southern Idaho, where we're from. I decided it was time for me to branch out on my own, away from my kids. They were grown, they were out of the house. So Heather and I talked a lot about this journey, and I decided to put fear aside and to move forward. And what I did was I cashed in my 401k, sold everything that I owned, came here up to Northern Idaho, and without having any experience, moved here onto this homestead, and learned, and I'm learning still, how to build, because we are building a barn, we are building a tiny home. I learned how to homestead, how to process and take care of animals and feed ourselves, essentially. So I'm learning how all to do this. When all of this hit with the pandemic and everything, it makes you look at things from a totally different light. You want to live self-sustainable, at least I did. I was like worried about what was happening in the world and what my future might be. And I invested in this journey here. Here I am, almost 2 years into this journey, and I have changed so significantly that it surprises me. And I really do owe this all to God and putting me in the right place at the right time. You know, having somebody that is such a good friend like Heather, that's willing to, you know, to take on a city girl and take on someone who has no experience with building or animals or any of farm life stuff, and allow me to be part of her journey as well. I didn't think I would be able to do this. I really didn't think that I would be able to process animals. I put a video out, a very heartfelt video after the first time that I processed animals, and showed how my feelings were after that. I look back and I look at that and I see how far I've come. 2 years in, and processing animals is not a thing really anymore. It's not something that overpowers me anymore. I don't get as emotional about it, and I know that they lived a good life. And it's just crazy how far I've come. And for those people that don't know if they could ever do homesteading and they don't know anything about it, you know, you really don't need to learn a whole bunch of stuff. You just need to be willing to try something new. You need to be willing to live outside of your comfort zone. You need to be willing to watch YouTube videos and learn from people off of those. And I tell you, this has been the best experience of my life. I am so at peace now. I don't have the terrible anxiety that I used to have. I don't have that depression. I'm really happy with my life. And just for full clarity, okay, back in my city life and back when I was living and working, you know, every day, and I would have that compounding anxiety about, like, will I be able to pay all my bills, you know, because times were really tight. And I don't have a paycheck right now. I have no paycheck. I've gone through my 401k, but I'm so at peace. And I'm at peace because I know that I have put my faith in God, and I know that God will provide, and He has proven it time and time again. And I don't want this to be about religion or politics or any of those things, but this is just my journey. I've never been political. I've never really been one to watch the news and follow everything that's going on. But with the pandemic going on and all of these things changing and people being forced to take a vaccine to keep their job, and for full clarity, again, I got the vaccine. And the reason I got the vaccine is I was about 2 or 3 months shy of moving here. It was already decided, it was already in the works, and I was told that if I wanted to keep my job, I had to get the vaccine. And I worked for a pain management doctor in Florida. I would say about a quarter of the staff got terminated for not getting the vaccine. And I'm really kicking myself that I did, and that's just a personal thing. I'm not judging anyone that has gotten it, and I'm not saying, you know, that you're wrong, or it's a, you know, I'm being neutral on that. But for me personally, I had some medical issues shortly after that. From reading medical literature, it's turning out that some of that could have been caused by the vaccine. So that's why I'm a little bit frustrated that I did go ahead and get it. And so, you know, I know that this is the right thing for me in my life. It's not a glamorous life. It's hard. You work long days. The winters are really tough. You do get some seasonal depression just because you're cooped up in an area, because we are off grid and we are building while we're trying to live in our shipping container tiny home. And that's tough. It's just 2 women and we're constantly together. And so that's gotta be tough. But you know, I couldn't have done it with somebody better. Despite living in such close proximity with somebody else, we get along really well. And I think that we both are very cognizant of what the other one needs. And so it really does work. And I have faith in this process. I know that as time goes on, things are just gonna get easier and easier. with the build, you know, and getting the build up, getting things up, and I'm learning so much every day, and it's empowering. Here I am 50, and I feel like this is just such a huge change in me that I didn't think I could do. So, you know, for those of you that think about wanting to do this life and don't feel like you can, you definitely could do it. Even people that may have limitations, you know, there's a way. You don't have to do the hard part of homesteading. You can have some easy animals, chickens that lay eggs. You can have bunnies, and the more animals you have, the harder things are. So if you want to make it more simple, less animals is the key. I really appreciate having this opportunity to live and be with somebody who can mentor me, who has had farms and who has had this lifestyle in the past. When I do get my own home and my own homestead, I'm gonna start small, you know, with maybe just a few chickens and a few pigs or something like that. I know that I do wanna live self-sustainable, so I'll have a big garden. Those are my goals. It's not too late. I'm 50, but it doesn't, you know, still have plenty of years ahead of me to do this great journey and to have a farm and a homestead of my own, and I really look forward to that. So with the rain coming, I need to end this, but I just want to say that God opened every door for me to be out here, and I am so grateful, and I feel so blessed to have had this opportunity, and I am so blessed that you guys want to follow along on my journey. I will get back to having some more action-filled content here soon, and for those of you sticking in with me, I greatly appreciate it. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. It's gonna be a wild ride, and I'm gonna have so much fun doing this homesteading life, and I hope that you follow along. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. You guys have a wonderful week. God bless. Take care. Bye.
We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.